I mean, I really like the way Anonymous used his add-on minus, or Anonymous. I think it was add-on minus. Anyways, I really like the way he used his warp prism. I mean, he tried to warp in zealots. Already at the first go he did there with his timing there, that 2-base timing he did. He tried to warp in a couple of cells behind the roaches to be able to put up a little bit of his round move, but eventually the queens were there to take out the warp prism, and he just barely saved it. So that got shot down, and I think that was just a little bit too much there, and he couldn't really go for the surround he wanted. And then he was basically just overrun by the pure mass of roaches and things there.
Yeah. I think if he had kept up the warp prism harass, he might have been in better shape.
Maybe, yeah. Could very well be true. But now we see the game starting here any moment. The loading screen is showing up as usual, and this time we will have Star Station as the map of choice here. Anonymous, or add-on minus, whatever you want to call him, is currently down 1 game. Now let's just wait for the game to load up to introduce our players here.
Shows how close the difference between Masters and Grandmasters is, isn't it, when these games are so close?
I mean,
sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead.
As the purple Protoss spawning in the top left-hand corner is CSC exclamation marks Adominus.
And in the opposing corner we are looking at the green Zerg. He's currently up 1 game, and it is IMPG's Denon.
I just realized that I worked out what that guy's name is and still called him Adominus. Add-on minus.
Because I just do it. I'm a trendsetter.
Yeah. It's all your fault.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but anyways, we see the pylon in the main base for add-on minus here. Probably indicating that he will once again go for a gateway expansion, even though, of course, Nexus First or Forge Fast on, especially on Star Station, would also be a viable option, just because, as previously mentioned, that map is just so huge that basically early pool rushes are not a thing. They just don't work.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this is going to be dicey. I'm not sure what Zerg players. I mean, muters. Formhosts don't work on this map. It's way too easy to get around them.
Well, I think
muters
TLO
are
made them
nice.
work once in WCS.
He's TLO though.
Yeah.
Double gas going down before expansion or anything else. So fairly aggressive generally when you're double gassing, or it could be heavy tech play. But we'll see the hatchery coming down. But yeah, muters are really good on Star Station because there's so much dead space around every base for them to hide. The walls are really badly positioned, so you can jump up and down between bases, and it's just a general nightmare for Protoss. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully it's not something too horrible like that for the Protoss, because it tends to get depressing.
Yeah, absolutely. Since you mentioned that Mutalisks are very, very popular, especially on that map, Stargate openings are just as popular as Mutalisks for Protoss player, because Stargate counters Mutalisks, obviously.
Yeah, very true.
And maybe Zenon is going for such things as these, since he's already pretty heavily mining a lot of gas here. Of course, he will get eventually his Nexus, but I'm around 75% sure that after that he will be throwing down a Stargate. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
He's definitely banking quite a lot of gas. Yeah. Maybe a little bit too much, unless he's going to start pumping out some sentries or something. But yeah, we'll wait and see. The hatchery finishing up, as we see there, and the queen finally getting onto creep.
Oh. Okay, he's going for Twilight Council. That also works. Maybe he's going for DTs. Also, of course, Blink Stalkers work pretty nicely on that map.
Yeah, this is a really good map for heavy Blink Stalker players, so yeah, you might be right there. I think you're probably on the money, and that pylon position is a nice position for a big gateway wall off. So yeah, you might be right.
Absolutely. I mean, I also was pretty sure that Stargate would have worked out quite nicely. I mean, he already was mining a lot of gas, so that would have been a viable option as well. But of course, if he goes, oh, he's going for DTs.
I'm
Well-
usually right.
The caster has no idea.
Yeah.
Who is this caster? He's talking bullshit.
Oh, we got a hidden little probie over here. Let's see what he's up to. But a lot of people shy away from Phoenix, even at the Masters level, just because it's you either micro them perfectly or you slip up once and they're all dead. So, you know, a lot of people like I know even like pro level gamers are, you know, Phoenix if I have to, but they'll go Phoenix and the Pulse Crystals before they'll even risk heavy Phoenix play. But then you get people like Hero, whose control is so good that he always goes Phoenix. So it's definitely a dicey thing. But this is DT, so that doesn't have to worry. The probe isn't going to do anything shifty, or is it?
Yeah, we'll throw down a pylon here, proxy pylon, to be able to warp in a couple of DTs there at that location, I'm pretty sure. And
A
let's
kind
see
of weird
how
place
they
for a
work
proxy
out.
pylon.
Let's see how they work out so far. Of course, nothing has been spotted. And of course, no real defense is being... Oh, well, we have a Spore Crawler here. Never mind, we have Spore Crawlers. Then it is fine. Maybe he's just doing that in general for some sorts of Phoenix or Oracle plays. Since I mentioned that Stargate is very popular. Of course, going for Spore Crawlers as quickly as possible is a good option. But also they help you a lot. They help out a lot against DTs. That's what they're called. We already see them moving in there, taking out the first queen there. Of course, that probe trying to build a third hatchery is also being taken out. But we immediately see the Overseer being morphed, and also with the Spore Crawlers in the mineralized. There should not be too much damage dealt here by those DTs.
Depends on his control. I guess he can just stay at the front of this base and just snipe off whatever units he can. Although the Overseer's there now, so yeah, I didn't see the Overseer. More roaches on the way. Speed coming up. There's a Forge coming down. Robo coming down. Sentries and miscellaneous other units. Shout out to Kakarot Sayajin, or I think his name is Alex, in chat, who's a moderator on most of the Poison Hearts channels and streams. Welcome and have a good time.
Just random shout out, I like that. Anyways, yeah, of course now eventually Senin is going to be thrown down his third base there. And that will put him in a nice need, and he's also going for the pneumatic carapaces, which is the overload speed, and that is also a upgrade that I like a lot. I mean, it just provides so much more movability to your overlords, and you can scout with them so much better if they have speed. And usually would see a lot of players going for that upgrade pretty much early on, because by now it is actually a tier 1 upgrade, and that will enable so many new scouting patterns for overlords. You cannot imagine, it is so cool. But, well, yeah, if you get late, it's better than never.
There's been a lot of discussion recently about that upgrade, actually, and why more Zerg don't go for it very early. It's, I mean, if you get that speed, it's so cost-effective because you end up losing way less overlords. If they get shot at, they can get to dead space very quickly. They can even get away from, you know, patrolling phoenixes or, not phoenixes, stalkers.
They don't get all that quick. I mean, they get quick,
no,
but not that quick.
I meant to say stalkers. Patrolling stalkers, they get away from stalkers and sentries and things, and, you know, it will save you a lot of minerals in the long run. It's a bit of gas,
Definitely.
but I think it's totally worth it.
I mean, you can also scout way better with those quick overlords. But anyways, add-on minus is now eventually also going to add on his third base. See what I did there?
Yep.
Ah, awesome. Lame jokes.
And so we got Locust durability coming up, but god damn it, what is it called?
Enduring Locust.
Enduring Locusts coming up with the weapon and armor upgrades, which both affect... I'm not sure if the armor affects Locusts. Do you know if it does? I know weapon upgrades do.
I know that Infestitarians no longer are affected by upgrades, but I don't know if Locusts are. But
I would say
I'm
they are
pretty
because
sure
Swarm
they
hosts are broken.
Yeah.
Weird map for swarm hosts because, like I said at the beginning, it's going to be very easy to just ignore them and go and destroy bases and so on.
Now we have add-on minus going for a little bit of a push here with a couple of Immortals and Archons in the composition. And I think that's a pretty nice time because by now only 4 Swarm hosts are up. Nice force fields, they're blocking off a lot of roaches. Has to be careful though not to lose too many units to them because every unit counts by now because he has... I think he had a warp somewhere. Yeah, it's floating somewhere in the middle. And he's actually getting a pretty nice round here, the Zerg player, and eventually will be able to push that back, push that aggression back. With mostly roaches there. Pretty nice play there, gotta say that.
Yeah, I think add-on minus saw the infestation pit and thought, well, I've got to stop this now or I'm going to die. And now on 3 base economy with a couple of swarm hosts out, Denon is taking a massive supply lead, 152 to 102, so with a 50-point supply lead. And the last of this army getting chewed up, going down to dropping under 100 supply. 20 lings on the way, and the Spire, plus 2 armors nearly done, plus 1 weapons. What a disastrous position for add-on minus to be in.
Absolutely, the Zerg player is now pushing into that third base location with a lot of I don't know why he's pushing back, that's just probably waiting for his swarmers. Oh no, he's just gonna go for the natural there. Also like that move.
Yeah, really nice move here.
I actually really like that move because now he's sieging the third base with his Locust there and also going at the natural at the same time. Very smart move there. Once again now focusing on the third base, but once again going back to the natural, taking out pylons there, of course, therefore limiting the production capabilities of add-on minus there. Probes are being pulled already, Potent Overcharge is being activated, but I don't think it will be nearly enough to stop that push. More and more units are joining the fray here. A lot of things also work on the Immortals and the natural Nexus will eventually fall there to the Roaches. Also the third base is going to go down. More and more Locusts are spawning here, trying to get off as many buildings as possible. And I think we might see a GG here any moment.
We do see some harass, a Zealot run by in the natural with that Warp Prism, spawning in 4 DTs and a whole bunch of Zealots, but I don't see the point in doing that when your entire, both your natural and your third are being taken apart. Seems like yeah, it just doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he will do some damage, but in the long run he will just lose way too much back at home to be able to get back into the game.
We do have a pocket expansion and some probes being pulled all the way over into the right-hand side, so add-on minus not really willing to give up, but he is at 41 supply to 148, massively behind on upgrades. Although there we GG finally, wanting to hang in there, but knowing that he just doesn't have any anything to fall back on.
Alright, that sums it up. Add-on minus is going to advance into the semi-finals there. Very well played there, definitely, and once again, really you saw definitely the difference between Grandmaster League and Master League. In this game especially. I mean, I think Denon is a high-level Master player. Yeah, he's top 8 Master League. Previously was in GM. But I think add-on minus was just a little bit too good there for him. Ended up taking the game 2-0. And I mean, he was pretty much dominating that series, you gotta say that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, I don't want to, I don't want to sound like like we're ragging on anybody, but obviously add-on minus has just had a bit more experience, and he definitely was the stronger of the 2 players.
Alright guys, that pretty much sums it up. I think while we are searching for our next game here, let's fire up some more music. If you've enjoyed the show so far, please feel free to leave a follow.
Oh wait.
Wait.
The Zerg player won. We were saying that add-on minus was the better of the 2 players, but he lost.
Yeah, of course I meant Zenon there.
Yeah. So that's what I meant earlier when I said that the difference between high masters and grandmasters isn't really all that different. It's just a matter of who gets in. As we saw earlier today in one of our own players, Boombox beating a grandmaster player and so forth.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused tonight. I have no idea. It was pretty hectic for me. Anyways,
it's one of those nights, I think.
I'm losing my mind. Yeah, of course. If you've enjoyed the show so far, even though I talked a lot of bullshit, feel free to leave a follow, and let's fire on some more music and I hope you stay tuned for some more games here.